welcome into episode 4 of Mike Chuck. I'm Mike. That's Chuck. Thinks he can take me down. He can't. We know this. We've established this already. The match is coming. We don't really want to talk too much about that tonight because it's been played out a little bit because he thinks he's better than me at
wrestling. We've got some awesome guests.
Yeah, we have really good guests tonight. So let's just start with our first guest. And Chuck's internet is really bad. So I'm going to make fun of him for that later. But let's start with our first guest all the way from, well, not really Amherst, but out that way, is Reagen Gallaway, the number 13th ranked girls wrestler in the country. Is that fair? Did I get that right?
Yeah. Yep.
Something like that?
Yeah, something like that. I don't really pay attention to rankings.
Yeah.
But we don't want to mess it up because you deserve the credit that you get.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
So, Reagen, you haven't lost in Nebraska in state in your career.
Nope.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm. My dad and I just calculated it up tonight. I'm 79-0 right now.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it's gonna be close. I don't know if I'll get my 100th win, but we're gonna try for it. So we'll see what happens.
This year, you mean, right? Yeah.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Is that a bit? Hold up. Did you shoot that buck behind you on the wall, or what is it?
Can you see it?
Yeah.
My mom shot it, actually. Yeah, we're big hunters over here.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're in Amherst or whatever.
Reagen just wrestled it to the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, my mom didn't shoot it. I actually took it down with a nice little double leg.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, double leg and then just stabbed it with a little.
Yep, exactly. I'm crazy like that.
Hey, we brought up, so one thing, we'll get to the wrestling part, but I want people to get to know you a little bit. So we last spoke to you in Fargo, and you had your trademark, I'm going to call it trademark cowboy hat on.
Yes, I did.
Cowgirl hat. Sorry, my bad. So why the hat? Is there a reason behind it? And kind of walk us through, why it's there.
It's like a little story behind it. My coach and I, Cara Romica, she's my club coach. She coaches out at Hastings College. We had this idea where we just wanted to be the duo, and we're like, oh, we could be like the WWE duo and have funny costumes. And I'm like, well, I have a cowboy hat. You have a cowboy hat. Let's just wear it to Fargo. Let's just be cool like that. And she's like, oh, I'm so down. They can call us like the cowgirl, rootin' tootin' tough Wrangler, Nebraska duo, whatever. And so we're like, yeah, we're going to do that. And then I started like talking it amongst my group, like my Fargo group. And then slowly like other girls started bringing cowboy hats out of nowhere. Like one girl had a pink fluffy cowboy hat. And I'm like, where did you get that? She was, I don't know. I just wanted to be like you guys. I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do it. Yeah. So like the cowboy hat, I don't know. It's just like a thing now. Like when we go to Fargo, like Nebraska, we kind of just want to stand out, like make a appearance and show people that we can wrestle. So like one way by showing up and like making appearances wearing the cowboy hats, people knew we were from Nebraska because we had the cowboy hats. Like I had a guy come up to me. He's like, you're from Nebraska, right? And I was like, yeah, how'd you know? I had a cowboy hat. I'm like, great, cool, love it, awesome. So that's the story behind it.
It can be a little intimidating too. If you're an opponent, you're like, this girl's a little crazy because she has a cowboy hat on in a singlet.
Absolutely.
How am I supposed to keep up with country strength?
Absolutely, that's what people think. Like they're like, oh, Nebraska, they got that farm strength. And then I wrestled a girl. I think it was my first match. She came up and like talked to me. She was, I kind of was scared because like one, you were wearing a cowboy hat. Two, you had these like noob wrestling shoes. I'm like, great, cool. You're intimidated. I love it. So.
Well, you just throw hay all day, right? I mean,
what was that? Sorry.
I said you guys just throw hay all day, right?
Yeah, I actually do throw hay, and that kind of sucks. But I get my strength from it. So. Yep.
So. Kind of, you were talking about being a trendsetter and kind of liking to stand out. I read a quote the other day that you had said that you wanted to be remembered more for paving the way for girls wrestling instead of, more than being a state champion. Talk to us a little bit about that.
So after I'm long and gone from high school, people are not going to remember me as a state champ. I want people to remember me as a good person. I'd rather be a good person than a good athlete because my athleticism is only going to keep up with me for so long, but being a good person, that's going to take me through the end of time. So I think it's more important to focus on growing the sport and then competing good in it, like being a state champ, like great. Like I know like that's awesome, like getting my hand raised, winning state title, that's great. But I rather grow women's wrestling here in Nebraska so people can like start getting recruited here for top colleges and that we just keep growing the sport. Because if we grow the sport in Nebraska, we can keep growing the sport in the United States and we keep growing it everywhere. So
Yeah, I think I have a funny feeling people are going to remember you for the state titles and undefeateds and all that stuff too. But do you, as far as college stuff, do you want to pursue wrestling in college? Yeah, I'm assuming.
yes, absolutely, I do. I've been on the recruiting, looking for the best college for a long time now. I got several up there, but I've narrowed it down to my top 2. So I'm looking forward to the college.
Is that your sister?
Anything. That is my sister. She's weird.
Bring her in.
Ryan, come here. Come here, Ryan. Yeah.
Ryan. Hey, Ryan.
This is my sister. She can't hear you. I have a headphone in, but she doesn't. She's the only Gallaway not to wrestle. So.
Hey, she's standing out. Standing out in her own way.
Yeah, but it's gonna be all right because she's gonna be a top volleyball player. So I'm not worried about it.
Amherst volleyball, look out! It's coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly.
So you mentioned your top 2 colleges. Is there any way that we can get that out of you, or is that something close to the chest?
I'm keeping close to the chest. It's just I don't want people to start rumors about me, and start like, oh, why is she going to that college? I just want to be at my choice, and it's gonna come out here pretty soon. So
awesome.
Feels like you got a good idea of what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm ready for it. It's gonna be exciting, and it's just I've been working for it, and I'm excited. I hope other people are excited with my choice, and I hope they support me. So,
well, we will, no matter what. I know that. What do you, I guess, hope to give back to the sport of wrestling? 1, and 2, what do you say to maybe some of the naysayers that are like, man, girls shouldn't be wrestling. Why are they doing that? What is your kind of take on those 2 things?
What I want to get back to the sport is just like my knowledge of it and like just tell my story, what I had to go through so nobody else feels alone. I grew up with a lot of adversity. Like in my area, I was the only girl wrestler, so I got a lot of crap. But maybe the wrestler who I am today. And for all the naysayers out there, it's just I don't know. It's just because people don't understand what wrestlers have to do like in general to go through the sport, or even like women's like wrestling. It's hard being a woman in wrestling because you get crap no matter what, because people are like it's a male dominant sport. It's not a male dominant sport anymore. It's the fastest growing sport here in America. So people are just gonna have to get over that hump, because in the end I think women's wrestling is gonna save guys wrestling, because you see it at tournaments. Like you see coaches and even refs saying like girls, they get into wrestling more. They want to be around the sport. They want to learn. They want to work hard in practice, and they just want to be around it. And because girls, like, we help like each other. Like I have teammates. Well, I shouldn't say teammates, but I have friends from other schools that I'll be in their corner like coaching or cheering them on, because like I love them for that. It's a family in girls wrestling. It really is a family. I don't care what sport, like what school you're from, or who you are, like what rank you are. I'm gonna be cheering for you, because that's just the kind of person I am. People are always gonna have something to say, and as a wrestler, you just gotta let it roll off your back. That's how it is. Like that mind. If you want to be good, and you have to have the right mindset. Be like, you know what? I'm gonna do it for me and myself, and I don't care what anyone else thinks. So.
Well, I know that I personally want to thank you, because I coach the Dirty Eagles Wrestling Club, and this year we have 2 girls on our team, 2
awesome.
Little 3rd graders, and without people like you and some of the other girls that are out there right now, that's not something that would happen. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because one of them is my niece. So.
Oh, that is awesome. I appreciate it. I like. My main goal is just I want little girls, or even just like even high school girls, just to look at me and like, you know what, Reagen Gallaway, if she can do it, I can do it. Like I want people to look at me and be like, I'm not afraid to wrestle. Like Reagen's paved the way, or they can say whatever they want. I want to be the reason that girls want to go out for wrestling. So
one thing that I noticed is that with with a lot of the times with boys wrestling, you see them walking around and they're grumpy, unapproachable. How do you keep such a positive attitude and still be so dominant?
Okay, so I was saying, I have it on the back of my Wonder Woman shirt. It says stay humble and hustle hard. And it's like it's kind of like hustle beats talent. Talent doesn't hustle. So like if I have a good attitude, I'm gonna perform good. And it's just if I stay humble and I just put the work in, the rest is gonna fall in. I can't go out there and just think I'm the best. When I show up to tournaments, I'm 0-0. Everyone's just good as me. They put in the same work as me, and I'm just gonna treat the match the same. And like, who wouldn't be excited to compete? Like you wrestled all week long. Who wouldn't be excited to go to a tournament and beat up some people? You just you just gotta have that attitude. Like don't be like I have girls who come up to me during the tournament and like ask me for advice, and then they're like, oh, I thought you weren't gonna be up for it. I'm like, I'm up for anything, you guys. Like I don't like come up to me and ask me questions. I don't care if I have my headphones on, tap on me on the shoulder and ask me how to do something. That's what I'm here for. Cause like I gotta get better. Like that's what helps me to get better. Cause I want to be a coach when I'm older. So like this is gonna help me get better, and then if it helps other girls get better, then I'm all game for it. So
if you keep this attitude, I'm telling you, you're gonna be one of the best coaches around too.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
After whatever professional career in wrestling or Olympics or whatever, then maybe someday.
That's a dream.
Yeah. All right, Reagen, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate it. Good luck at the Manstead tournament this weekend. I know it's a big tournament and a lot of girls and stuff like that. So good luck, and we will we'll see you in February in Omaha. I feel pretty good about that one.
Yeah, I'm ready for that one. So
a little over a month now. That's it's creeping up.
Excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited. So.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Man, you want to talk about like pretty.
You just got me pumped up.
I know. I'm like ready for you not to take me down now. So
now you're getting blast doubled. For sure.
Let's go. Where do we want to? Can we open a room? Someone can open a room.
I've got keys to Central High School right now.
I'll meet you there when this is done. I don't care. I told you in a parking lot, wherever, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
All right.
No. Okay. All right. Let's get to our next guest, and we can talk about this later. I will literally meet you there in 30 minutes.
I thought this was happening in Metros.
Oh, now you're scared. You're backing out. Shoulder again.
That's a neck thing.
Oh, neck. Whatever. All right. Let's bring in our next guest, Central City head wrestling coach Darin Garfield. Coach, appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us and chatting about Central City wrestling and maybe some Class C in the middle of the state wrestling. We haven't got there yet this season, so it's kind of why we asked to have you on.
I appreciate the invite. Always good to chat with you guys. And if you need a referee for that wrestling match between the two of you, I'd be glad to jump in there.
We might need to bring in your twin brother too to stay impartial.
You're dang right.
So it's only a 2-minute thing, and I feel very strongly that he can't take me down in 2 minutes.
Let's just talk about Central City wrestling right now. I'm tired of talking about this.
Soft. Okay. Coach, Central City wrestling means what?
I think we've worked really hard to kind of create a culture in Central City that when people compete against our team or compete against our individual wrestlers, that they know they're going to get the best effort that we have, and they're going to see a team that strives every day to get better and compete at the highest level. And we may not win everything, but we sure put in the time, and I think that is getting to the point where, our reputation is that we're going to just have some solid guys through the lineup and be a hard duel or a match, whatever it may be in tournaments, and be a good team to have come into tournaments and kind of maybe up the game of the whole tournament by us being there. So, it's been 18 years that I've been there, and it's been a lot of fun, and I feel really good at the culture that we've established, and always work to do, but that's kind of where I hope we're at right now.
One quick thing, I'll let Chuck go. How cool is the new? I've been there. It's fantastic. The new Bison Dome it's pretty neat.
It is. We're definitely spoiled. I mean, it is top notch. The first time I went in there, I walked in with our head football coach. We walked in together, kind of looked at each other, and Coach Hubert and myself. And my comment to him was, "I feel like we're in a college arena," and that's what it feels like. It's got that feel to it. It's crazy that we're a Class C school, C1 football team, and basketball and volleyball is all C1, but that we have those facilities, and that goes on top of our really nice football field that we have put in, field turf and new weight room, and just the list goes on and on. A lot of the academics in our school. So we're a very progressive school district, and a really good superintendent that does a great job of making our facilities top notch all the way around.
And it's an actual dome, not like that fake Fargo dome.
Yeah, no, it's so it actually acts as a storm shelter. Everybody in the town of Central City can fit into it. So if in case of a tornado coming through town, they can fit the entire town of Central City into it. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, it is actually in a circle dome, not like the Fargo building.
Yeah,
correct. Yeah, correct. Yep, it definitely is a straight up dome.
Coach, you had some really exciting moments at Central City, some big moments. What do you think stands out as your top?
Oh, I bet I know, but go ahead.
I know what it is. Say it.
Yeah, it's you're right. There's been some amazing moments, and don't really like singling out any specific ones. It's just been such a fun ride there. But I mean, I'm a dad too, and so I'm a dad first, and so having those the last 2 years, having those moments that have my son Drew jump into my arms as a state champion, and I mean, it just both years he's undefeated all the way through 96-0 in those 2 seasons combined, and 2021 also winning the team championship. At the same time, it's I don't know. I could probably coach for another 30 years and never have that feeling again. I got another son coming through, and maybe we can do that with him. But to this point, it's definitely got to be Drew and his 2 state championships in that moment when he jumps into your arms. And it just, doesn't get any better than that.
He's pretty tough when he's above 90 pounds.
Yeah. It's
the man pole.
Drew. It's funny because Drew, when after the state tournament last year, we went to the Big Tens in Lincoln, and he ate his weight in chicken strips. There we got one of the private suites, and for the first time in our entire lives together, he was only 15 pounds away from me. So
wow.
He was pretty bloated.
Is it not only having him, but then your brothers? I remember talking to you after. I don't know if you remember that, but I remember talking to you after minutes, after he won last year, and your brother's there, and you're hugging, and I mean, it felt pretty emotional.
Yeah, our whole family is kind of, our lives revolve around wrestling, and right. The fact that we get to share that, and just the moments of competing against each other, and you throw my dad into the mix there. He was a Class C announcer for 15 years. That's the state tournament's always been really special to our families. My wife and my younger kids, and my daughter's a stat girl for me, and my parents, both mom and dad, travel everywhere, watching us still, like we are still competing, and all we're doing is sitting in the corner yelling at our wrestlers. So, but they still treat it like we're competing. They come to every single thing they can, and it's a pretty special deal. So to be able to share that as an entire family adds to the special moments for sure.
Coach, whether you know this or not, you have had an impact on me as a coach as well. One of the things that really stands out about you is how passionate you are for your wrestlers, and if anybody watches you at the state tournament, they can see you doing those high knees and jumping in the air. And I think that's so cool. And the biggest lesson it taught me is that, you can be unapologetically passionate for your wrestlers. What keeps that passion going after all the success that you've had?
Well, I tell you what, and I appreciate your nice comments. I'm not naive to the fact that it probably ruffles some feathers, but like you mentioned, I definitely don't apologize for being excited for my kids. And the number one reason is because I get to be on that journey with them from the very beginning. I get to, see them when they first enter our youth program when they're 4 and 5 years old. So I get to see that entire process, that journey from the start to the finish. And so I get to see the time they put in, the amount of sacrifices they make, the hours after hours of training, driving across the country, spend a night in motels, and it just not just the kids, but the parents too, that are so involved with their kids and their success that they're willing to drive them all over the place for our youth program. And to see that end result and to see all that hard work and all those hours pay off, to me is just the most exhilarating moment in the world, just because we've been on that road, that trip together. And, but I'm just so thrilled for my guys when they get to see those moments and actually get to see those moments come true. And so that to me is why I coach. It's just about those, the process, the journey. But man, that end result, and it may be a kid that finishes 5th or 6th place, but it just seeing that payoff is what's the biggest excitement for me.
Is you want to talk Class C just as a whole right now? I mean, obviously, I think C probably maybe gets overlooked a little bit, kind of in this as far as statewide stuff, but it's always super competitive. This year, obviously, clearly, I think again, teams maybe that when we're like a month away from the end of the season, which feels
crazy.
Yeah.
Coach, it goes faster every year, right?
Oh my gosh, yeah, it's nuts. I was talking to our girls' head coach just today about that, and they're about a month away from their district tournament. It just doesn't seem possible.
Yeah. Anyway, the other teams, I guess, and I know you guys always are going to be in the conversation, but other teams maybe in C to look out for.
I think it starts with Broken Bow. Broken Bow is very, very talented. They came down from Class B the last several years. They've been up in B, and they're a little bit like us. They bounce back and forth a little bit, but between B and C. But they are down to Class C now, and they're on paper to me, without a doubt, the team to beat. They are top to bottom, very talented. Coach Schaaf does a phenomenal job over there, and their guys are battle tested. He brings them to the big tournaments, and they have a grueling schedule, and but they're going to be the team. And then there's a lot of other talented teams in there. I think Valentine is a team that's right back to where they always are, and in the mix for state titles. And with Coach Allison, always has his guys in position to maybe win the state title, in which they have done multiple times. And There's some other dark horses. I don't even mean to call them dark horses, but because people know about them. But Crofton Bloomfield is a team to me that has some really top end talent that I know is going to make some noise at the state tournament, and they're actually still fairly young. And then even some other teams like St. Paul, right up the road from us, and Coach Bowling, who I had the pleasure to coach all the way through his high school career as a 2-time state champion for us at Central City. He's doing wonderful things at St. Paul. And so, they got a couple of guys on the roster that are both have been state champions, and some other pieces to go with it. But I don't mean to miss out on anybody, but there's several other teams in that mix. But those ones really, really stand out to me of teams to keep your eye on.
Coach, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. How stressful was the state tournament against the streak?
I'm sorry, you cut out there. What'd you say?
I said, how stressful was the state tournament when you guys wrestled against the streak?
In 2011?
Yes.
That was, this is kind of a funny story. I don't want to bore you with all this, but 2011, when Scud had won their 13 straight state championships, we were the smallest Class B school that year by one student. If we had one more student less, we would have been in Class C. We were the smallest school. And, we thought we had a chance. I didn't really, consider that this could actually become a real true possibility. But as the state tournament drew closer, it just looked like we were going to have a chance. And at the district tournament, we just had a really good district tournament. We had 12 qualifiers. Felt pretty good going into the state tournament, but still it's Scott, nobody beats Scott. Right. And the Wednesday, the day before we left for the state tournament, my wife Siobhan and I went to go eat supper, just kind of a little dinner before we left. And I got a phone call from the Omaha World Herald to want to do an interview. And when I got on the phone and talked to them, they said, well, it's very clear that you are the team that has the best chance, and we really feel strongly you have a chance to beat Omaha Skutt. And I was like, just for some reason that hit me at that moment, like this is real. Like we could really do this. And people are not only then, expecting us to do it. And so it was stressful to a certain extent, but at the same time, I feel like our guys believed in themselves. And had we not beaten Skutt that year, I don't think anybody would have thought that we failed just because it was Skutt. And so I think that might've taken a little bit of the pressure off of us. We just had to go do our thing. And the mentality that we had going into that thing was which I told our guys, nobody's expecting us to just come out here and win this thing. So we thought we could do it, but nobody, to me, really expected it. And so that, I think, made it a little bit easier. But our guys showed up, and we had 9 state medalists, and ended up being one for the record books.
I remember that. That's pretty awesome. As someone who wrestled against the start of that streak in high school, I was something that, the beginning of the start. All right, Coach, thank you very much. Pretty sure we'll see you in February at the state tournament, if not before. If Chuck can get past, like 120th Street in Omaha, west.
One of these days. Hey, I drive past it for work every day.
Okay, so past Lincoln.
Okay, that's fair.
There you go. We need to get you, Chuck. We need to get you down to the Dome. That's what we need to do.
I've got to come check it out.
It's awesome. It really is awesome. So, all right, Coach, thank you very much. Enjoyed the conversation and your time.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, Chuck. Because you're having major audio issues for some reason, like
I don't have my headphones and I forgot them at work.
Yeah. Anyway, you're having major audio issues, so I think we should just end it. But what I really do want to, I did have a couple of notes here. There's 3 sort of big tournaments. The Millard West Invite is Friday. That's always pretty competitive and pretty challenging. And then the Manstead tournament, which we talked to Reagen Gallaway about, is the biggest in-state event at High Plains, or in Columbus, I guess. And High Plains kind of, is the host, I guess. But that's in Columbus at Central Community College. And then the Cheesehead is a big one, real big one. And Millard South will be headed there.
So the Cheesehead last year is where I think Miles Anderson really turned the corner and became an elite wrestler for Nebraska. He won some big matches up there and came back, and he just wasn't the same. It has that type of effect. It's that tough.
Yeah. And I might go I'm thinking I'm going to Millard West, so we'll see.
Want me to meet you there? We can wrestle there.
I would wrestle you right now in my.
Bro, it's snowing out.
I would wrestle you in the snow. Doesn't matter. You can't take me down. Can't take me down.
Whatever. How good were those interviews?
They were good. They were really
good. Awesome.
Yeah, both of them were really, really good. So Coach Garfield is a good man, and Reagen, we first talked to her in Fargo, and that was fun. So she had I remember she had a little black eye.
She does not talk like a high school senior.
No, she's super mature. So
very wise.
Yeah, very wise, very mature. She's awesome. So, all right, man. Well, have a good week or weekend. If I don't see you, I'm sure I'll talk to you. But
yeah, I gotta shut this camera off because that glare off the top of your head's blinding me right now.
It's not. It's actually real soft lighting, which I'd have. So it's definitely no glare. So good try. Good try there.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
All right. We'll talk to you later. That was episode 4 of Mike Chuck, and we'll be back with episode 5 next week.
Oos.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.